welcome to city. Contact ground on 121.7.
Charlotte Tower, this is Kenoshi, 123 Charlie Delta, general base parking, VFR to Peterborough.
Well, hello again and welcome back to the channel. I'm Howard of ForderLearnToFly. Glad you could tune in. Take a moment to have a look at this product that I'm reviewing, and I'm going to end up keeping it by the looks of it. I've been really wringing it out, trying to figure out how it goes. It was pretty simple, actually. This is called the FlightSounds Dual Pro intercom box, and it's very similar to the kind of intercom that you would have in a real airplane. One of the reasons it's of interest to me is that I teach students here in my home sim studio, where I have flight simulator running on laptops and PCs, and I help them with skills for learning to fly. Many of those students already have a real aviation headset, not a gaming headset for a PC. This is made for aviation, and they're very high quality made. They're made to last forever. I've had this one for 15 years. This one here I just bought recently so that we could try both of them on here. For those of you wondering about pricing, I can get into that later in the video and do a quick summary of that. But this was very inexpensive, about 150 bucks, which is one of the cheapest things I could find, just for a second one for a passenger in the plane or here in the studio. This one, of course, would be the David Clark, is probably around the 450 range Canadian. But the point about these headsets are, you know, they're still kind of expensive for a lot of people's budget, but they are the kind of headset you would use in an airplane. One of the things that we wanted to do as real pilots was practice at home in flight simulators, whether it be X-Plane or FSX or MSFS, different versions. And we wanted to be able to use our headsets. Well, the problem with our headsets is they have aviation kinds of plugs on them. And I'll give you a close-up of these, but these aviation plugs have a thicker plug and a thinner plug, one for the mic and one for the headphone. You can get an adapter and you can adapt these to USB if you wish. But the real value of using an intercom system is that, first of all, it has the proper jacks. In this Dual Pro, it can take two sets of headsets. And the beauty of doing that, as it is in a real plane, is that we have the sound coming from one to the other, and we can choose how our push-to-talk will work. All right, so I'll be demonstrating that. Paul, my friend, has come over. He's a fellow sim flyer, and he's going to be using this headset, and I'll use this one. And we can understand what the controls are. But let's put it real simple here. This box came to me from FlightSounds in New Zealand. It's really nice of them to loan me one to go and check it out and see how it goes. Now the trouble is I like it so much I'm probably going to keep it. So I better have an arrangement with them. But I'll tell you this, it's very simple to set up. The box comes ready to go without any drivers, and it comes with a USB cable like this one. And that USB cable is quite simple. It becomes your sound card in your machine. I mean, you can still select other things, and when you unplug it, it goes back to what it was before. But once it's plugged in, you'll have your computer audio feed here. That's your volume control for that. And then simply put, for each headset, we have a volume and we have a squelch. And that squelch is like a noise gate. That'll help us with how it picks up your microphone and the sounds that you hear behind you. We'll demonstrate that, and we'll let you hear what that sounds like. But quite simply put, we just simply plug in both of these. Now, I'd need two hands for that, but I'd plug in both of these and get to work right away. Now, what you use for your ATC software is up to you. I use Say Intentions, like my hat. And so, you know, Say Intentions is the way to go. Actually, I've evaluated them all, and I love Say Intentions, so that's what I'm using for all of my flights and for my teachings. But quite simply put, once your headsets are plugged in, you simply plug in the USB to your computer and you're done. It's really that simple. Now, they do have a manual that you can get. They simply include this with the product, and when you get this card with the product, then they have a code at a QR code at the back that you can scan, and that'll give you the manual. And you can certainly go to the FlightSounds/manual or something like that, or sorry, FlightSounds/downloads. There might be an exact URL, but it's similar to that. And you can get the manuals for this. Now, there is an extra module I'll talk about that comes with this, an extra software package that you can get. It's an optional package, and it's called the push-to-talk software. Now, you don't need to have that to work with your ATC whatever you're using, whether it be on ATC or VATSIM or whether you're using Say Intentions like I am. Most of those products have a client themselves, and you can designate the push-to-talk button because you want to still simulate the same way it is in a real plane. If it's a yoke airplane like a lot of the trainers, then you would have a push-to-talk button on the back of here for your index finger or up top like it is on the Velocity 1 here. All right, and so you'd want to map that to be able to speak on the mic. This box will understand that as you're speaking on the mic, and you would do the push-to-talk with the software, the mic light will show up. That means you're transmitting, and that's what you would look for in a real airplane too. Also, if you're not using the push-to-talk software though, then you can still map it from your, in my case, Say Intentions client, where the Say Intentions client can figure out which button is for transmitting a microphone. So it can work without the software, but there are a bunch of options, especially for do-it-yourselfers that are building their own home cockpits, that you can add your own push-to-talk button, or you can add your own actions that will happen when you use the push-to-talk, whether you're talking to the intercom to the rest of the people in the room, or whether you're talking to ATC. All of those things, and we'll get into those a little later. So there's lots of options here, but the bare idea is, and I've just got the box sitting on top of the FlightSounds cardboard box for now, but this thing now is going to go under my table, right over where it would normally be in a real plane, on the left side beside the yoke under the table, with the extra mounting brackets that came with it. All right, I think they are an optional cost, but they're very simple to set up and put under your table or wherever you want to mount this, and then it's easily accessible as you use it as you go along. So that's the basic essence of what it is. It's an intercom box for speaking to ATC. It's also enabling you to use your own real headset, on whatever that is, if you're a student pilot who actually has a headset already. And also you have to think about the fact that the push-to-talk options and what you can do inside your home cockpit. The bottom line on this also is that with our real headsets, I'm now talking to my student through the headset, and it sounds the same as it does in a real airplane. There's a specific sound to this microphone that has to be right up close to your mouth, and that comes through loud and clear. And so it feels just like you're in a real plane. Additionally, you can add another one of these boxes, connect it from the back. We'll talk about the back connections in a minute. But you can add a second unit and have 4 people with headsets, just like it would be in a 4-place 172 or etc., any of those GA planes that we use for training. And all 4 people will hear each other, so they can be daisy chained so that you can have 4 of you with headsets. That's the ultimate in realism. We're getting so close in other things, whether it be the hardware in our home cockpit, the software that emulates and simulates those airplanes, and now the actual sounds and the real headsets. We've come full circle now. Let's get into some more of the details. Okay, live in 2 more, go Elaine. So let's do that next, and we'll do a quick check on our radios and make sure that they're working fine. Check, check.
Test,
Right.
test.
You're coming through loud and clear, so I guess I'm going to have to bring that thing up closer. There we go.
There you go, that's better.
All right. So you can hear me loud and clear?
Perfect.
All right. Next thing we'll do is a radio check. We'll just tune in our radio check frequency here at 118.0 or 11801. I'm going to do a quick check with my yoke, and then I want you to do a quick check also.
Okay.
All right. So
All right, we're just going to do a radio check here, Paul. Make sure that we're okay with ground.
Contact departure, November, Quebec, Quebec. Lear 6 Romeo Bravo, contact departure.
As soon as they let us in on the frequency.
Lear 6 Romeo Bravo.
Go ahead.
Radio check.
City ground on departure, maintain VFR at or below 8,000. Departure on 133.4, squawk 6612.
Super. So they're reading us loud and clear. That sounds great.
Great.
All right. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to do our run up. And, after start is here, and here's the run up. And all we're doing in here is just making sure that everything here is going to work.
Okay.
So I'm just going to do a quick one for you just to show you what we do.
Yep.
And one of the first things that we do, if you zoom in here, you'll notice you can get a closer look at that RPMs as we go along, the whole
Yep.
engine gauge that you see here. And we're just going to take our throttle up to a higher amount, typically around 1700.
Okay.
Right there, and this is exactly as I think
we're
you've already done this stuff before, right?
Yeah, we're moving.
And we're actually moving, so we don't have a brake on. Look at that. Now we are still in the tarmac. We might even be. Yeah, we're on the taxiway. I wonder if they'll notice.
Do we need to request pushback?
That's okay. We'll do it from here. Yeah. So, looking back at the checklist, one of the first things back here is parking brake, but we didn't do this page, right? so we'll work with that. All right.
Okay.
So during the normal run up, and I'll let you do this now.
Another really handy feature that you're going to love are using the Bluetooth part of this, the Duo Pro. It has a Bluetooth connection, and so you can simply add anything. In this case, typically your phone, so that you can take phone calls. Yes, so you can take phone calls in your headset, and then also music, so that you can take music along with you. And that's always a handy thing too for you and all of you who are inside the plane. So in real life, that's what we do also. The intercom system can have music playing. This Duo Pro can be set with the dip switches on the back, can be set for stereo, of course, which is the default, which is good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another microphone here, probably making a lot of noise here while I'm moving it around. I'm going to stick that inside my headset so that you can hear it. The reason I have to do that is because the Duo Pro now is receiving the audio from my phone and using the microphone of my phone, of course, but it's nothing to do with the computer, so I won't capture that audio back there. So what I'm doing is I'm actually just putting another lapel mic inside my headset so you can hear what passengers and pilots would hear. So let's see if I can get that on without losing the microphone here. And I think I accomplished that. Check 1, 2. All right. So that's coming through too, and it's also coming through on this microphone here too. So let's keep that going. Now what I want to do is pair my phone, so I'm going to give you a couple of screen snaps of how I did that. Simple, everyday, normal Bluetooth. And now take a look at the back of the panel, another screen snap for you so that I don't have to mess around with wires and stuff. And you'll notice that all I have to do is take a pen and push that little blue button on the back. And as soon as I push that, look, it pairs, it sees it, I click it, and it pairs, and now it's actually connected. So now I'll just go select any old song.
A couple things I want to show you. First of all is, let's open up a couple things. I want to open up the push-to-talk mapper. This thing is more powerful than you think. It's not just a piece of software to map your push-to-talk button. First of all, you saw me do this already, I think, but we'll do it again. Here, the controller, I'm going to pick my Alpha flight controls, and I'm going to just push the button that I'm going to use, which is really cool, all right? So I'm going to just push the button that I'm going to use, and you'll notice button 1 is flashing. I'm clicking it. That's the button I want to use for my microphone. It's actually talking to ATC, so I shouldn't be doing that.
Tango Foxtrot, say again, no audio received. Tango Foxtrot, go ahead.
Tango Foxtrot, please disregard. So now I shouldn't push the button because that actually talks to ATC, but I want to turn the light
Tango
on.
Foxtrot, understood.
And so now I know it's button number 1 that I want, so now I click it. Oh, sorry, I pick it right here, number 1, there we go. And that way, now I've got it for the push to talk. But what I really want to talk about right now is this part right here, the Bluetooth part. So you saw me, you saw already that, we'll just show it again. So take a look here. As soon as I turn this on, then I'm going to be pairing my Bluetooth. And what I've done right now is I'm just turning on Bluetooth on my phone, and I'm also turning Bluetooth on the unit. Now at the back of the unit, take a look. Here's a little closer view. On the back of the unit now, you'll see there's a blue button there. Just hold that button until you see that it's in pairing mode. And then you'll see on your phone that you'll be able to select it at the bottom, other devices. When you do that, you're going to see, here I'm going to put this into slow mode here. Pull back some power. Get into flap range. Hold my altitude just a sec, you guys. Let me put this into slow flight mode. There, we're in the flap range. 1 flap.
124.3, 74 Tango Sierra.
And I'll just give it a second flap.
Delta Whiskey, welcome to Boundary Bay.
And I'm going
Contact
to stay
ground
like that.
on 124.3.
Now we're just in slow mode while we're slow flight while we're just doing the area. All right, so you see now that I'm actually paired with the unit. Now what can I do with the unit? Well, first of all, so I could just manually touch the phone and play the song. We should be able to hear some music coming through for that. There we go. Just see what happened to my screen so you can see what's going on there. Oh, it actually disconnected my air server so you can't see it. Okay.
Contact on 14.3, Echo Bravo Echo.
And we'll bring this. We'll bring the push to talk. Alright, so now on the push to talk mapper here, let me just pause the music here. And what I want to do now, that it's paired, that was my phone, actually playing the music right to you through my headset. Now what I want to do is turn on the Bluetooth multifunction button. And this is really cool what this does. Now, first of all, I'm making sure I'm not using a secondary. I don't have two duos. I only have the one that connects to two headsets. But now what I want to do is I want to pick a button that I'm going to use to talk to Siri or to answer phone calls. Here we go. This is really powerful now. All right, let me see what my speed's like. 75. Yeah, I got about 45 or 35 degrees or so. I'm good in my flight. I'm just going to stay like this for a while. Let me just take a look now. I want to use my alpha, and I want to use this big red button over here. That looks like it's button number 4. See it flashing there? Number 4. Okay, that's the button I want to use for that. So I'm going to pick number 4 on the list. Okay, now that both of them are set.
Have a good evening, Echo Bravo Echo.
Now they're both set.
Echo Bravo Echo, you're leaving my airspace. Frequency change approved.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening, Echo Bravo Echo.
I am descending a bit. I'll just give it a
See
little
you
bit
on
of
my
power.
return, Echo Bravo Echo.
I'm down to 1600. I want to be up around 25, so we'll just climb a little more. Pull back a bit of that angle. All right. So now that I got both of those set, I'm going to say enable. All right. Now, when I push to talk now, when I talk to the tower, the light will come on. So the push to talk mapper, first of all, lets that light come on, but it also, the switches on the back of the unit will tell the Dual Pro where to send my push to talk now. I've got it set for default, so it lets me speak the whole time, but also when I do the push to talk, it'll go straight through to stay intentions. But now I've got this Bluetooth thing on my big red button. Guess what that can do? So let me just show you. It's actually very cool. I'm having some fun with this. So let me show you with this, first of all, wherever that showed up. Okay, it's over here. Let me put that out on the screen. Yeah, I'm getting pretty low, aren't I? Okay, hold on. I'm still around 78. I thought it was climbing, but all right, some more power. There we go.
Boundary tower, Charlie Golf Tango Yankee
500
Juliet.
feet per minute. I'm climbing. All right, let's get
Golf
back
Tango
some of
Yankee
that angle.
Juliet with information.
Gonna
IFR.
get dizzy, aren't we? Right, nice and gentle. There we go. I'll hold on to the
Tango
oak.
Yankee Juliet is requesting IFR clearance to 15.
All right, don't mind the
Echo
radio.
Foxtrot, you're leaving my airspace. Squawk VFR. Frequency change approved. So long.
Okay. Squawk VFR for frequency change approved. Fox Lima Tango Fox. Good day. So, let me just have a quick look here, you guys. Make sure. I thought it was on already. 1200. Oh, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at that. Gee whiz. Okay. So, transponder. Let's put it on VFR. North America. We're good. We're at 1200. That's nice. Back and make sure we're good. Nice. Still doing donuts in the air, but we want to climb. More power. There we go. Let's get going. All right. What a distraction. No problem. Love the distraction. We're good. All right, so let's take that, and we'll take that also. All right, what you see here is the way that we can do, the way that we can work with this. You notice in here it says short press. You can read that, but maybe I can make it
Contact
bigger.
ground on 124.3, Echo Bravo Echo.
A short press for play, pause,
Acknowledge Echo Bravo Echo.
and to answer or disconnect the call. If a call came in right now, and maybe I can get a friend to give me a shout while I'm doing this recording. A double press means next track. So let's try the music part first. A short press on the button will play or pause. Let's try that. So I'm just going to short press. I'm just leave it down in lower volume, but you can hear it, right? Another short press, and it stops. Cool. And so that works. How about next track, right? So short press. Like it. I like it. Music while we're flying, you know, as long as you're still paying attention to everything. Just have a quick look out the window. Yeah, we're climbing. Yeah, we're getting up there. Okay, we're nice and slow. Okay, so now I want to do double press. See number 2 on the screen? Next track, double press. 1, 2. Nice. That's a nice song, actually. All right. These are all supposed to be royalty. They're all supposed to be YouTube friendly, so that's why I'm playing them.
Okay,
Now you also notice that number 3 on there says long press, activate voice control. All right. Anybody getting dizzy yet? 1900 feet, we're good, we're good, we're good. We're still in the same area, that's great. And eventually we'll head into land. So a long press, we've already got pairing mode done and all the rest. Part underneath says reset device paired list. No, we're good. So we just want to activate voice control, so it's going to be a long press. It's like the Hey Siri thing, right? So let's do something like play the previous track or something like that. So long press, play previous track. Sorry, I couldn't go back. Well, okay, that works. Well, maybe I make a phone call, right? Oh, listening to music here. I'm going to have to go find my passenger. I think she's over at the terminal. Probably wondering where I am. Uh-oh, I think that's her calling. What was that again? One button press? Right. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Forder.
Speaking.
This is Elaine. I'm your passenger, and I'm waiting in the terminal. They won't let me out to find you unless you come to the terminal.
Oh, no. I'm very sorry. I thought you'd come out to the plane. I'm sitting here with it running. Okay, I'll be over to the terminal to pick you up in a minute. Thanks for calling.
Okay, thank you. See you soon.
See you soon. And then one button press, and then I stopped the phone call, and then the music came back on. Is that cool? I'm just going to sit here and finish listening to my Spotify song.
On 26, Tango Alpha. I don't remember what we are.
Good thing you're not on the mic right
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
Okay, that's beautiful. All right, cut. That's great. You know, that's a lot already that we got in there. Elaine, you wouldn't believe it. They're talking away. There's all kinds of... Well, that was it in action. And boy, does that feel like the real thing. Especially when you're using an ATC that you can talk to. Of course, that's the whole purpose behind it. But using real headsets and being able to hear each other. Now we want to talk about a couple more features before we finish this up. I'm going to keep this in my main sim kit room all the time now. It's going to be my main thing. I'm going to mount it under the desk. But let me just say this. There's a couple of things more that we can do. There's a whole bunch more advanced things that we can do for those who are do-it-yourselfers, those who are actually making home cockpits, elaborate home cockpits. Mount this in, and you can use your own push-to-talk switches. You can use your own configuration. There's a whole bunch of inputs on the back, as you can see here, and we'll describe those in more detail of what you can do with each of them. Some of them are self-explanatory. But when I did mention about you can take 2 of these units and have 4 people included, it's a simple thing to do. As you take 2 units, you would just use the included cable to actually connect them together. It's just an audio 1/8" cable on each end. And so you can see by this diagram here, you can see that we just connect, it looks like a cross, right? We're just connecting into out and into out, and as simple as that. And so if you wanted to include 4 people in this whole thing, and you know, if you have someone come into your home studio and you want them to be included in the ATC conversation, give them a real headset, let them sit down and feel what it's like. Same with giving discovery flights, just like they do in real life. Discovery flights are when you can go and pay inexpensively compared to what it would cost per hour for that plane and that instructor. And an instructor will take you up and leave you in the left seat. They won't leave you in the left seat, but they will put you in the left seat. And you can actually take controls once you're out to the practice area. They won't let you land and take off, of course. But you know, when those discovery flights, you can do those now in your home cockpit. The person beside you's got the real headset on, you've got the real headset on, you're shoulder to shoulder, just like in real life. And you take them for a flight and let them take the controls once you get out to the practice area. So, you know, things become a lot more real once you have that same setup for the headsets as you do in a real plane. Now, I mentioned about using 2 units and wiring them so that they can be used with 4 people. There are other advanced configurations that you can do also. I mentioned briefly earlier in this video, I mentioned about the push-to-talk options. I'm going to show them again. I want you to go through each of these options here. And let's have a closer look at that, just to see what can be done with that.
So as you look at the options at the top of the screen here, I'll just use a microphone I got nearby here. You notice the 4 options there, and I've also expanded the screen so that you can see the dip switches. These are the switches on the back of the unit. Here, I'll expand it out real big here so you can read them, and they relate directly to the text you see up above. The options you see here, when you push your push-to-talk switch, then the first one up there says push-to-talk for Sidetone, and here Sidetone only while the push-to-talk is pressed. Without this enabled, Sidetone is always on. And this is what you've been hearing while I've been talking all through this video. It's always on, right? And we can change that just by changing that switch to the other position to the right. So Sidetone is when you get to hear yourself. Now take a look at the second option, push to talk for intercom. Take your mic off hot mic and send your voice to your cockpit only when the push to talk is pressed. Without this enabled, your intercom mic is always live. So, and these are the defaults. The default is always live, always everything, except when you're actually pushing the push to talk button to talk to ATC. PTT for computer, route the audio to the computer only when push to talk is pressed. And then the fourth one, PTT for intercom link. Link means you've got more than one unit, more than one of these units linked together, as we've talked about previously, right? When you're using multiple dual pro units. And transmit to the linked boxes only. So these are other options that will really help you as we go along. I do want to point out to the right also, you can see the jacks that are available. The 2 bottom jacks, these are all 1/8" stereo kind of jacks. The 2 bottom ones are link jacks for connecting to other boxes. And then you'll also see an auxiliary out. Now this is really handy because then you can put it to a speaker. And then everything that's coming out of the box that would normally go to your headset can also go to an external speaker for others that might be in the room. And then you see some other ones for headset audio channel 1 and channel 1 and channel 2. And this is for conventional kinds of headsets that you might use if you're not using the normal aircraft headsets with the bigger jacks. And that's what that's for. And then you can see the push-to-talk auxiliary module at the very top there, and that interface would be for their extra additional module that you can add in, and you can read about that on their website. I haven't got it to review, so I can't speak intelligently about it, but that's the next step. We'll go and take a look at some of their products on the website.
I also want to show you the lineup from their website. Let's go to their website for a second to show you each of those products. I don't have all of them here, I just have the Duo that I'm going to be using forever in my studio. But if you take a look at the options that they have here, the first product I bought probably 15 years ago to use in the home flight simulator scenario was the single, or what they call the solo, as you can see here. And the solo is used for one headset. And there are plenty of you who are just going to have you as the only person, and you're going to be speaking to ATC, and it's just you. And there's no other person coming with you. You're not teaching anyone, and you're not worried about anyone actually seeing your studio, which could be messy full of wires. So, you know, the solo works just fine, and it's an inexpensive way for you to get into using your real headset. And that's merely what you want. You want to be able to have that ATC conversation. It's always a good thing to have. All right, so those are some of the options. Let's explore a couple more things, and then we'll finish up.
So that takes care of the first two, because we already, we're taking a look at this one already. When they say 4 items, etc., there are variations of this, one without Bluetooth, etc. But let's look at the things we haven't talked about so far. So we've actually covered 1, 2, 3, 4 areas. This one down here, you'll notice a different kind of connectors. These are military connectors for military headsets that you would use in helicopter. All right, and then this one, Fusion, the Fusion aviation headset. Interesting product. When you take a look at this, we'll just take a look at one of them here. But the whole idea of it is enjoy all the features of the Dual Pro and more. It says mount the audio connectors and controls directly into your cockpit. So there's where the real key to using this one is. As an example, here they're showing you the module that you can install. This one has switches and jacks, etc., for all of your switches that you need inside your home cockpit. Now we're talking about do-it-yourself builders, and that's what they would be using here. You're going to make your own cockpit in your own design
in your own panel, and this is the interface for it all. A similar kind of interface, but the front, of course, doesn't have the headphone jacks, etc. And this is what you would use. So this is called the Fusion, and they give you an example of hooking up your own switches and how it actually works. And again, they just show you that there's a bunch of hardware here. So this is an excellent product. Now, I did mention about the PTT Mapper too. All right, and there it is. And if you wanted to use that also for the variations that it can give you. So just go to their website and you can certainly enjoy it a lot. While you're here, I mentioned already about the download section. And in the download section are all the manuals that you would possibly need to get to know. And you guys can go and get these right away. And then you can start reading about these products in more detail than I've given you. And finally, take a look at the Aviation headset USB adapters product list. And you can see here the comparisons of what each product can give you. This is an excellent chart. This is on the website. It's one of the first things on the download page. Well, there you have it. That's my review so far. There are certainly more complex things. I've given you a taste of some of those more complex things, adding extra units, adding a push-to-talk switch, deciding where your push-to-talk is going to go. All of those things can happen. But you can start out quite simply, as you saw. You could start out with the Solo, as I did, and you can simply have just your headset talking to ATC. And now, in this modern 2025 year and on, you can see that we now have AI ATC, like say intentions. We can fully have a conversation now while we're solo flying in our sim and feel like we're actually in real fields and real airplanes. It's kind of cool. So there are more options. You saw them. We went from the most simple setup with a Solo to the dual setup, which I have here, and actually had a lot of fun with that with Paul and I. And then you can get into more complex scenarios that you can with your own cockpit building. And a lot of the do-it-yourself cockpit builders will love this feature. I hope this has been complete enough, and I hope you get an idea of what the product really is. And we'll see you in the skies, and we'll be talking.
Tango Foxtrot, welcome to City. Contact ground on 121.7. Dashport
217, Fox 7 Tango Fox.
Dashport 2221, wind 080 at 8, runway 08, cleared for takeoff. Cleared for takeoff 08, dashport 2221. Tango Foxtrot, squawk 2175, acknowledged. Contact ground on 121.7 for taxi instructions.
Squawk 2175, contacting ground, Fox 7 Tango Fox.